Are you serious? Are you serious? Guys, we have epidemic potential if we're not careful. A major hazard situation has happened in Zimbabwe and in Kenya. Anthrax. Here's what's just happened. We've just got information. An outbreak of anthrax has affected 8 people in Zimbabwe after they ate meat from a cow that had died of the disease. Now, the affected areas are a couple different villages there in Zimbabwe. Anthrax, of course, as you may know, is a life-threatening infectious disease caused by bacteria that normally affects animals, especially maybe rodents. But it can affect larger animals, and it can affect people. And you definitely don't want to be eating an animal that's already sick and dying from anthrax, or maybe just died from the anthrax. But in Zimbabwe, they ate a cow that had died from anthrax, and 8 people are now extremely sick and a serious situation. Anthrax that affects the skin and manifests in the form of ulcers have been treated. People are right now in a Zimbabwe rural clinic. 8 people, very highly contagious. It can spread now among humans to humans. Now, while that's going on, we reported earlier today of another case of anthrax. This one really bad, happened in Kenya. This one because there was several goats that were sick and dying. The people there were wondering what was wrong with the goats, and they contacted a veterinarian doctor who came and said, look, the goats are sick, but go ahead and slaughter them. They're okay to eat. So they did. They slaughtered the goats. They went ahead and ate. They called a lot of people over, and because they figured, you got a bunch of goats we got to kill. Let's just go ahead and call the whole village over, and everybody will just eat. They'll have like a festival or something. Well, what they didn't understand was that the doctor misdiagnosed this situation. These goats had anthrax, and so the people of the village ate the goats, some kind of a stew or whatever. I mean, I had goat stew when I was in India, so but the 200 people extremely sick, taking them to hospitals and clinics, or got them in their homes in different places, extremely sick with this manifestation of ulcers on skin and in their digestive system. This is a very, very dangerous situation. When you got 200 people in one community sick from anthrax, this can spread. So we've got 2 epidemic situations, extremely hazardous situations. I really would need the body of Christ to pray for these folks, both in Kenya and in these 2 villages in Zimbabwe, where 8 people are extremely sick from anthrax. So 8 people sick from anthrax in Zimbabwe, 200 people sick from anthrax poisoning in Kenya. We'll be back with more current world events and how they relate to biblical prophecy. Certainly, these plagues, these diseases are going to become so common as we get further into these end times. Jesus said there would be these plagues, different types of these pestilences and diseases will be literally worldwide. And the big one that we keep watching and we keep praying about, and I need everyone to understand, is the bird flu. It is just one mutation away, according to the CDC. And I said and listened to one of the top CDC scientists 2 years ago in a conference down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I heard the man give the speech, and he said it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. Massive bird flu epidemic will spread among the human population, and when it does, it will be non-stop because we have no vaccination system. We have no vaccinations. If you make a vaccination for bird flu, it would have a very short shelf life. And anyway, you can until it affects the human race. And right now it spreads from bird to bird, and it can go from bird to human. It just can't go from then human to human to human. But we're one mutation away from that becoming an epidemic of biblical proportion, and certainly will be one of the plagues that could kill millions on this planet. And that's what they're expecting will happen. So we continue to pray. You need to know your scriptures, Psalms 91. You need to know what it says in Isaiah 54:17. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that would rise against you, you shall condemn in judgment. You need to understand what it says in Psalms 91. No plague shall come nigh thy dwelling. Very important to know these scriptures and to believe them in faith in the power of Jesus Christ, in his name. All right. I'll be back with more current world events and how they relate to biblical prophecy. I will be live tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. There's a lot going on. And certainly the China situation. I already did a video, my show today earlier about China threatening to sink 2 U.S. battleships to send us a clear message. And now we have more information coming out of China, as well as some news coming out of Israel and around the world. So don't miss it. It's tonight, prime time live at my website, right here on this website. Excuse me. Well, it's on my website too. Yes, paulbegleyprophecy.com. But it's right here on this YouTube channel. It's also going to also be live on new live stream and Roku satellite television. Also, you can watch it live on Periscope, and you can listen to it live on the direct radio line. All right, so it should be a powerful program. Don't forget, Mike from the World will be with us Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern to talk about, of course, the super blood moon and the Nibiru and the 5 waves of energy and the effect on the planet. These are the last days. Are you saved?